Yes, I know. I don't want to see a single person in the comments say something like bro got turned into a sauropod. Saurophaganax is still a thing, but it's now just reclassified as Allosaurus annex. The reason I put Saurophaganax in the title is because every depiction of the animal in a film or show is still called Saurophaganax, so that's what I'll say. And to be very honest, Allosaurus annex doesn't roll off the tongue as well in my opinion. Anyways, this animal itself is my second favorite dinosaur ever, just after the Utahraptor and Giganotosaurus, because I can't decide which of the two I like more. I've always loved Allosaurus, basically the lion of the Jurassic as Walking with Dinosaurs called it, but when I first saw it in Planet Dinosaurs my eyes lit up. An almost 5-ton theropod that is basically an Allosaurus on steroids made my day. As powerful as it was still a documentary and was meant to be a real animal that had real weaknesses, and sadly won't compare to any I have on the list. From pack hunting terrors that can bring a sauropod to its knees just by roaring, to a 60-foot Goliath that can summon a meteor to wipe out its opponents. In this video I'll be covering the most powerful Saurophaganax you could see on screen. This video took me a bit longer than the others because of just how scarce the dinosaur was in any video games or shows, so consider hitting that like and subscribe button since it's the best way you could support the channel right now. Alright, now that you've gotten the gist of things, let's look into the strongest versions of the lizard-eating kings. For the first time ever, a dinosaur from Path of Titans is making an appearance on one of these videos. This game is pretty similar to the Isle but has better graphics but is nowhere nearly as horrifying. I was considering buying it because of just how many dinosaurs they had, but at the time I wasn't willing to spend $30 or more on basically another Isle with more dinosaurs. One thing I will admit is that these dinosaurs kinda have superpowers, like it's not just mutations like the Isle where an animal can grow up to drink salt water or become immune to rotten meat. Some of these animals have arc-like abilities like buffing other creatures and even reducing the health just by roaring. The Saurophaganax is one of these. There are 3 different species in the game and each has their own special ability. There is Annex, which is most likely a product of the recent findings, Fragilis, and then Maximus, which was what the Saurophaganax was originally called. Maximus appears to be the biggest and deals the most upfront damage. So this thing has a bunch of different abilities and I won't cover all of them because the entire section would just be me listing abilities. The most overpowered in my opinion are the ones like Royal Guillotine, which causes a massive amount of damage and causes whatever the target is to bleed to death. Then there's calls like Royal Subjects, which increase the health stats of carnivores such as the Concavinator and Allosaurus. I think it's badass because it actually makes the Saurophaganax seem more like a king and his words boost his subjects as a whole. Then there's Lord of the Lizard Eaters, which is a roar that reduces the durability of herbivores as a whole, but sauropods take the biggest hit because their durability gets a 20% reduction. This could have something to do with the fact that the animal in real life could have hunting sauropods back in the Jurassic, but can you imagine having the ability to scare a 30+ ton animal so bad to the point where they're weakened, not just mentally but physically too? There's a few others like the Stomping Tantrum attack, Claw attack, and the Tail Swing that could stun and even cripple some larger creatures. The animal is basically meant to be an upgraded version of the Allosaurus. In both this game and the Isle, the Allosaurus has always been a troll. Whenever you see someone as an Allosaurus, there's a 90% chance that they're a dick. But one good thing is that they aren't as powerful as some of the top tiers. However, that changes with the Saurophaganax in Path of Titans. Raw power and pack hunting tactics now make them a force to be reckoned with. While not quite on the level as the top tiers like the Rex and Giga and other megatheropods, they can take a decent amount of damage without having to fall back, and if they get the first bite or two in before the megatheropod, chances are that they will win despite being smaller. With all of their abilities, a trio alone could bring down an Argentinosaurus in a relatively short amount of time, especially with the call that nerfs sauropods' durability. No real-life carnivore could pull this off. Even if 5 of the largest Rexes ever recorded came together, they still probably couldn't take down a fully grown Argentinosaurus. So even though it seems to have retained a somewhat accurate size of around 40 to 45 feet, they still pack heat. One version of this animal, however, is nowhere near as modest and is as large as some sauropods. Yeah, get it over with. The another Dinosaur King character comment. But what else did you expect, especially since this specific dinosaur could solo all of the other dinosaurs in a lot of other lists I've made. In Dinosaur King, the Saurophaganax is probably the most durable theropod under the black T.rex. I mean, the thing has taken on more than one special attack from top tiers and was still able to fight. This theropod is actually massive, like 50 feet minimum. I mean, look at it compared to Spiny. In terms of damage output, it has one of the highest possible, with only Brontikins, the Black T.rex, and possibly Terry dealing more damage. In my opinion, it has the best fire control out of any of the other dinosaurs, well, except for the Alpha Acro, which sets forests ablaze just by walking. Imagine putting your strongest dinosaurs together to try and get a jump on this thing, and then you see a mini sun hurling towards you. That's right, just like the black T-Rex, this animal is able to summon a massive meteor that evaporates anything it comes into contact with, and I mean any dinosaur. We see this when Spiny and Tang get vaporized by the blast without even making direct contact. As a matter of fact, every dinosaur that has had this attack thrown at them turned back into their card form before the burning rock could even touch them. When the guy fights with Spiny, he matches, no, surpasses him in strength despite being smaller. Barely moving even though the Spinosaurus ran at him with full speed. The thing grabs the Spinosaur by the neck and throws it into the air without any sort of struggle. Then after all of that, he let out a beam of fire. I'm not talking about a fireball like the Carnivores or some flames like Terry. A literal concentrated beam of fire is fired out of the mouth of this thing, and when it hits Spiny, it pushes him back more than a mile. In terms of durability, I'll say it hands down. Other than the BBT, this thing has durability unmatched by any other theropod. It took one of Chomp's powered up attacks head on, which if hit in a specific area, the shockwave could clear a small town, and the Saurophaganax took that to the chest and just threw the Triceratops off, then got flung around by Ace and thrown into a wall just to shake it off. He does end up getting beaten a few times, but it took the strongest of attacks to do this, especially for Terry. In my opinion, at the time when the Saurophaganax and Terry fought, I think the Sauro should have won. Terry literally had to get a jump on him, and then ended him with his own flame attack. Weird notion by the way, a fire type is vulnerable to another fire type. Other than that, he can trade direct blows with Chomp, despite not having the skull for it. If any sort of Allosaur tries that with a Ceratopsian in real life, their skull would have been smashed in. In terms of destruction, I truly believe that this is one of the dinosaurs I could say has the ability to be a country level threat. He can't spam the meteor attack, but he can do it over and over after a cooldown period. Fully unleashed, this could destroy half a city, and continuously throwing it around every couple of minutes could lead to millions of deaths. The military literally has to drop some sort of powerful explosive to put this thing down, because almost all the dinosaurs in Dinosaur King are already bulletproof, and seeing just how much more durable the Saurophaganax is compared to most, grenades and rocket launchers won't do much. The only chance is to drop a mini sun on it, and while it can't fly, with how much range the fire beam attack has, it could literally just shoot the aircraft out of the sky, similar to the way Shin Godzilla did in his own movie. Overall, my favorite character in the entire show, especially with its raw look. But as huge as it is, even it is dwarfed by the next lizard-eating king we have on the list. I bet a lot of you didn't expect this now, did you? That's right, there was a Saurophaganax in Ark. I mean, it was a moth like Path of Titans, but it was fairly popular back in the day. I'm not too sure, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Saurophaganax was a dinosaur that came with a Jurassic Park mod that added Jurassic franchise dinosaurs. I tried to find the mod in the workshop, but I'm not seeing it. It's been out for almost a decade, and I remember first seeing it like 6 or 7 years ago on one of Syntax Cluster series, and I loved the color scheme. The model itself needed some fine tuning because it looked a bit too plasticky, but overall pretty good. The exact color is kind of an exclusive color scheme by the way, with the black lines on the brown body. I don't think there's another dinosaur that has its own distinct color scheme like this one. Anyway, this one is simply huge. It's 70 feet or more and at a bare minimum 30 tons, which makes it heavier than a Diplodocus. Imagine being an adult Diplo in the middle of the late Cretaceous, thinking you have no carnivore to fear, and then some roided up Allosaurus walks up and one-shots you. It actually can do that by the way. It has an attack, I think it's called degutting, where it rips out the insides of prey that are 60% or more smaller than the Saurophaganax itself. Basically it grabs a vital spot and pulls. I mean, in real life it would technically kill anything decently smaller than it, almost instantly like the game. So if that wasn't enough, it has a Gnash ability similar to its Allosaurus brethren in the vanilla game. But unlike them, it does need a pack to boost it up, so it can deal bleeding. When this hits the target, the animal bleeds so much that it's unable to go faster than walking speed. It doesn't matter the size of the creature either, since even the Giga itself can be affected by this. Not saying it can beat a wild Giga because it frankly doesn't stand a chance against something that's twice the weight of a blue whale, but the fact that it can damage something that large to the point where it's slowed down is quite an impressive feat. In terms of durability, it's kind of the classic as with a lot of mega Ceropods in Ark, although it's slightly more tanky than most, able to take a rocket launcher and continue fighting, not to mention shotgun and assault rifle rounds depending on the level. If something like this was in Jurassic World, it would do the Indominus what she did to the Ankylosaurus. And as for the Spinosaurus, as much as I love him, the moment he even tried to put his arms around the animal's neck, it's getting bitten off. Or the Saurophaganax will just apply the bleed debuff. Truly terrifying when you think about it, but the most horrifying variant of this animal will kill you in a way that will make you think it's related to a titan. This Saurophaganax comes from the Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter universe. It is a mod but fits so well within the base game that you'd think it wasn't. I found this one because of Saurian Target's video. I've been watching his content for a good amount of time and I could confidently say that there's no better place to go for Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter material than his channel, so check it out if you like anything related to the game. This Saurophaganax is much larger than the real version, pushing 10 tons and 50 feet long, and possibly even way bigger, since it's able to contest and even defeat Rexes on that planet. Those same Rexes, by the way, can push 15 tons in weight. If that's not impressive, it can bring down a Brachiosaurus, which in this game is unkillable with any sort of gun. Yet this dinosaur has enough raw power to bring an adult down. For the brave souls who do decide to hunt it, it's usually recommended to bring a powerful fast-firing gun, because it can soak quite a few bullets even if it's shot directly in the head before going down. And if this thing manages to catch you, you're about to have an Attack on Titan flashback. The Saurophaganax in this universe will pick you up like a crumble cookie and bite you in half. After it does that, it just throws your lower body to the floor, like it needs to ingest your spinal fluid or something to turn back to its original form. This animal and the Carnivores are the best modded theropods in the game in my opinion. It has a big owl skin and even does the same calls as the subadult Allosaurus, which is honestly nostalgia overload. However, its original roar is something out of a horror movie. You get a classic big meat-eating dinosaur roar that sounds deep, but within that it sounds like a very high-pitched scream, like something that should not come out of an animal that large. Oh, and another thing, you can't outrun it, since it could sprint at more than 30 miles per hour, so your only chance would be high ground. That just about brings us to the end of this video guys, one that I had to do a bit more digging than usual, but worth it. As of typing this, it's 12 in the night, and currently it's almost 1 o'clock as I'm checking the time. And I have to upload this in 10, well now 9 hours to post tomorrow morning. So this is going to be an editing test to see if it's possible to pull an actual all-nighter edit. By Monday you should start seeing a Discord in the description so I can chat with you guys better. I honestly don't know how to use Discord because I've never joined one, like I always thought it was too much of a hassle. So after this video I'll see how it works and get one sorted. Anyway, thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, I'll see you in the next video.